You can do better than that. The pause there while you waited for further instructions. Hello, everyone. Take your time, buddy. I'll just riff, shall I? Okay. Sure, okay. Who's been here before? And you're all here for poetry. No one's here for board games. Tim's not here, so it won't happen again.
D&D.
Hi, welcome.
To Process! Oh, cool. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night in store for you. We have got, as always, some incredible open micers for you. There you go. We've also got 2 very incredible features for you. Kayla, do you want to tell them who the features are?
All the way from Nottingham, we had one half of Bad Betty Press like 2 years ago. We finally got the other half. We have Amy Aker. And all the way from apparently round the corner, who's somehow never been here, we've got one half of Off the Chest. We've got Ifti Latif. If you don't know them, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Clearly not at poetry nights every night of the week.
Are we willing to not go into poetry nights?
I don't know. It's been 5 Tuesdays. I can't. I think next month is also 5 Tuesdays. It's too many Tuesdays. I can't. Should we do some Housemen?
Houseman time, yes. So yes, before we get into a poetry night, we must do the very, very fun part first, which is telling you all of the rules you need to follow, okay? See? I love that we've made a
cheering
situation
for rules.
Here. Yeah.
I love it because we're known as the queer and neurodivergent poetry night. That's accurate.
Yeah.
I
mean,
so I feel like rules and parameters and instructions really help our crowd. They're very excited for the rules. Do you want to tell them the rules?
I'm more at the moment thinking over how I have managed to foster a queer and neurodivergent poetry night, because that feels like it's not my brand in particular, but also I love that we're doing it.
I think it's your brand. It's just not your... Someone just yell world's best ally. Yeah. I really enjoy you coming out as straight every month. It's my favourite thing. The bar is so low.
Out story, damn it, nah. But yes, no. So
what are the rules?
Yes, rules. Keeping it vaguely on track. Rules for this open micers. You will have 5 minutes on this mic. How many minutes will you have? Cool. As I've not been saying as much before because I'm not needed to, but nevertheless going to add in again anyway. That time will start when you first start communicating with the audience. That will include your intros. That would include any interpretive dance you do at the start of the thing, etc. 5 minutes when you're on the stage. When it gets to 4 minutes 45, you will hear this sound. That will be your kind of, oh yes.
Hear the return of the Liberty Bell. Sometimes
yes.
I forget it. About 60% of the time I forget it, and I can tell you exactly where it is in my room. But right now it's here, so. No shave and a haircut.
That'll be your cue to finish up what you are saying on stage, and then please leave at 5 minutes. We don't really want to invest in a shepherd's hook to properly pull you off stage just yet. But
well, Spoken in London, the original one, not the so that sounded so mean. Okay. There's now another one.
Yeah.
But it's not the same one. But for a long time. Vogue Fabrics and Dalston, there used to be a poetry night called Spoken Word London that would play loud, that would just blast music from the speakers. We won't do that, but I will just hover really anxiously by the side of the stage until you leave.
Yes.
15 seconds is shorter than you think it is.
Yes.
Next.
Other than that, for all the open mic as well, we want to try and get as many of you on as possible. We can't guarantee that we can get everyone on. We do need to finish this night at some point. The bar staff need to leave at some point.
At 10:30, that's when we need to finish.
So we're trying to get
for me to get home by midnight, because it never happens. But I like to try. I dream big.
but we'll try and do that. In terms of what you're saying on the mic, obviously it's an open mic, so in theory it's open to all the people, all the things. That being said, no kicking down on this stage. Don't be a dick. We are not here for that. This is not the place for that. If you have to wonder, is my poem kicking down? It's probably not the poem to do. I'm just going to kind of put it out there now as a thing. Though along with that as well, as there'll be people talking about lots of serious topics in many different ways, both for yourself and for the audience. If you feel it needs one, give your poem a trigger warning at the start of your poem. I think it's just a really good practice to do. If you feel your poem won't hit as much of that trigger warning, probably not a good poem. Anyway, other rules. Kayla, other rules.
I don't consent to seeing anyone's genitals or buttholes this evening. Please don't show them to me. You can get your tits out, that's fine, but I don't want to see anyone's genitals, please, or butthole. That's included, right? I'm never sure.
I mean...
We might have a naked special at some point.
I mean, Kayla, given where you... Oh,
yes?
God. I was going to say, given where you work, I will bow to you in terms of genital knowledge, is all I will say.
Actually, it's my background in theatre that does that, anyway.
Other than that, last bit of rules, housekeeping admin is I am filming the night, so be aware of that. If you don't want to be filmed, let me know, and I will make sure that video does not go online. As for those who were here last month's video will be going up on YouTube tomorrow, so you can watch yourself tomorrow for that one. But yes, I will be taking pictures and filming. If you don't want any of it online, just let me or Kayla know at any point during the night, and we'll make sure it won't go online. I think that covers all of the admin, housekeeping, all of that stuff. So I'm going to smoothly, easily move off stage for a little bit.
Bye. So who's been? I don't even know. It's been 5 Tuesdays. That's so much chaos stored up. What did you say? Yes, so much. What was I saying before you heckled me? Who's been here before? Who's never been here before? Welcome to the family. Fiona, how do you join the Process family? Yes, you come here one time and then you're part of the family. So welcome all. We worship the poetry gods at Process, and they are bloodthirsty beings, and they demand a sacrifice for every half a poetry night. No one likes to go first, so we do that for you. So making the first sacrifice tonight is, I need to find a new way of introducing you because I feel like I've done this 24 times at least, and it's a lot. Anyway, people come from all over the country to come to Process because they want to come to Tyrone Lewis's poetry night. And I'm also here. Is that for me? Thank you. Oh, you're so wonderful. Okay, anyway, it's really hard to be mad at him, though, because he is my family, and I love him dearly. There are so few people that I feel I could do this with, and I definitely couldn't do it alone. So please welcome to the stage my bestie, Tyrone Lewis.
I mean, I was pretty ill last month, and you did pretty much do it on your own last month, so you can do it alone, and I'm wonderfully proud of that so much. Cool. I'm going to do a poem I don't normally perform, because why the hell not? That thing of like, I've got a book, there's more than one poem in this book. I can do more than one poem all the time. I know! Yes, a whole book that has just 2 poems in it. Buy it at the back whenever you want to. I mean, no, too many side notes. I will tell, in the break, I'll tell you in the break. This poem is called West Hampstead. I'm 16 and so are you. Each of us doing our best impressions of human beings on this overground train to West Hampstead. You're clutching a cake tin close to your stomach and your left. Your right is developing a firmer grip on my arm as we adjust to the shakes of the train. I've got 2 more stops and a 7-minute walk to your front door left to figure out how to say that I like you. It took me the past 6 hours and 5 stops to realize this. Somewhere in between finding out your favorite film is Toy Story 2 and learning that your scar on your left arm was from when you and your sister were fighting over who loved AJ from the Backstreet Boys more, that I realized I started to like you. Our courage jerks to a stop, and your right grows tighter on my arm as the train forces you a couple of steps closer to me. And our eyes catch, and we hold this look for longer than a platonically acceptable time. You force your head to look away first as my head forces me back 9 hours to when your name was just Jess's sister. She was still relatively sober when we forced our paths to cross. It had taken a couple more hours for her 2 extra years of life experience to fully kick in. During her tipsy stage, she lets loose in an alcohol-laced warning that I could not have any fun with you. As I start to transition from +1 at this party to Jess's sister's carer. We spent the day in the playground getting familiar with dirt again, competing with each other to see who could act the youngest, and you won. We stole the swings and made them our seats, dragging our feet over tarmac as our conversation swung from which of the kids on the roundabout you most wanted to adopt to how much you had grown tired of your sister. Your grip tightens again as our train coughs, then stutters into life. 1 stop left, and noticing how well your brown hair frames your face. 1 strand of it kissing the corner of your smile, and I can still smell the park on us. The train doors open and we're at West Hampstead. You lead and I follow you down the platform, and it is just us. And I want to tell you, I know this would be the time to tell you. I can see me telling you. I can see me holding your hand. I can see my mouth moving. I can see your eyes looking at mine. I can see it all, but my body never gets the message. The words never come. We just walk, and I know that this will be it for us. We'll meet again, talk more, and still be friends. We'll hang out, have fun, and still be friends. We'll reveal secrets, talk dating woes. You'll say any girl will be lucky to have me, and we'd still be... And then you say you like me. I don't remember the exact words, but I can still see you clutching the empty cake tin close to your stomach with both hands now. Your hair still framing your face of 1 strand kissing the corner of your smile, and you still smell like the park. And I hug you goodbye. As I leave you on your front door, you seem content with the silence, as all I can hear is your sister's warning, alcohol and all, whispering on repeat in the back of my head. And it's been 15 years, and her alarm and her warning is still alarm clocking in my head with such regularity. Adopts every date, every friend, every person into her family. It reminds me that I am not here to have fun. I am not there to have fun with you. Thank you. So we've been going for over 2 years now, and apparently as of last month, we've started a new tradition. So can I please get a round of applause as the hat bitch comes onto the stage, please? For clarity, we're not going to do this for all of the nights, but nevertheless, drum roll, please. And our first open micer of the night is Raheem!
How we doing, everyone? I've gone from last. Did someone say shit just then? Shout out to you, I feel that. So I do get that. I've gone from last to first. So here we are. I'm excited today. I've got a new poem that I'm looking forward to performing. Got some people from uni here. My beautiful girlfriend is here for the first time. I can't quite see, but she's here. And it's the first time she's actually seen me perform. We've been together like 2.5 years, and it's the first time, so I'm excited.
First time your girlfriend's seen you perform shit.
I wrote this poem kind of in my notes. You know what it is? I don't want to just be known as the guy who writes poems about his dad, but that's where my head is right now. And I had this conversation with Atlas, actually, and he said to me, and I'm paraphrasing, he basically said, you know, you can only really write from where your head is in that moment. And that resonated, and that gave me the courage, I think, to just perform it and see. So it hasn't got a title either. So if you guys think of a title, please come up to me in the break. Dad shit. Okay, no, I like it. This is dad shit. There you go. All right. A couple days ago, my mate texted me to ask if I knew how to tie a tie. After I replied, it got me thinking about why. I thought back to when I taught myself with a YouTube video before my first day of school, and all the other things I taught myself because he wasn't around to teach me. I had to come to terms with the truth. Even when he was present, he never checked in. I made a hero of him. Told myself if he was here, he'd teach me how to catch, how to kick a ball, how to treat a woman the way she deserves to be treated. But I was blessed by her coming into my life. She took me to the cage so I could practice my kick, patient when I backed off, and bit by bit, that sick, empty stump feeling in the pit of my stomach began to ease. I am in control. And as I said, I had to come to terms with the truth. The harsh, glaring truth that even if he was around, he wouldn't have the answers. I reshaped my perspective, saw him as an example of what not to be. The grief was still heavy, but I was free. I wrote the letter, tears dropping on the page, each dodgy shave, every bump and graze, closer to becoming the man that he never was, the man he never will be, because no man would leave his boy who loved him regardless of the flaws he grew to hate. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
I really relate to that thing of like, I don't want to be the poet that only writes about this one thing, but write all of the poems about that thing until you have a new thing. What's... No, we don't do that here. We do if you want, but oh my God, never do it to me. It's so stressful. So that was the, sometimes, sorry. I'm aware not everyone heard you. I'm so sorry. At some poetry nights, something that they do is if you say a line that like really resonates with people will go, run that back or say it again. And someone shouted that at me once, and I felt my brain fall out of my skull. So I'm not saying don't do it here. I'm just saying never do it to me. Anyway, what's in my hand? What's in the hat? Thank you, hat bitch. Your work is done. Drum roll, please. For the first time ever at Process, please welcome Katie.
So nice to be here. Thank you. People should just do this in real life, like on the tube, cheer each other on. Yeah. This is real life, yeah. Yes. People should do this more in everyday circumstances, such as getting on the tube. I have 2 notebooks because this one's full and I didn't, yeah. I'm going to start with one that's called Shit's Getting Real. 82, feet still finding streets, on his way to the hills, the land holds him still. She speaks of council's greenwashing campaigns after hours, August 24th. He says, shit is getting real. An announcement, a foghorn, like we can't all sense the pending storm. I say something like, ooh, I won't repeat it. Call her to apologize. After work, try track training, learn how not to lose my breath, how not to give in, how we can go further than we think. He speaks his clarity so easily, but I realize the one who sprints fastest loses the others, and we are not made to walk alone, are we? At night, an old version of Grandad arrives through screen. Mum says, look what I found. Me, 6. He, wearing glasses. She still misses him. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. It's also so nice to be here. Thanks for having me. This one I wrote after watching just a few teenagers and tuned in something one of them said and wrote this, and it's called On Geese. Boy, about 16, slightly slurred, says, "You see those geese? How they fly in formation and shit. There's a hierarchy, like the one at the front, that's like my granddad." His words fumbling with friends, all speaking over themselves, sunlit and self-conscious. Later, sling arms around each other, I say, "See." We just needed something. Love. Thank you. Yeah, it was such a gorgeous moment. It was like, oh, they just want to talk to each other. Yes. I've had the joy recently of job hunting. I don't know if anyone's experienced that. It's so fun. Wrote this after interaction at the job centre. And it's called We Leave Crumbs. The second kitchen cupboard, half open, part of a crust, more than 10 clustered crumbs, a creased bag of oats out of its home, too many spoons to count, hummus, Marmite, the tea, after tears in the park, bicycle helmet, her grandma's sunflower cushion I'm taking care of. Earlier today, at the job centre, realised she did not remember our conversation about poetry. How too she writes, I had remembered, but she cannot place me, says, just 2 applications, sighs. And as I sit in this blue chair against the blue wall with the blue people, I do not tell her that this morning they thanked me for showing up week on week to read together, or that yesterday I called my dad just to see how he was, or that I smiled at a stranger on the bus. Just sit, shuffling myself. In the park, a small girl waves as I sit, looking for swans, blossom, something to lean on, and of course, I wave back. Thank you. How am I doing on time? And I can't see you. 30 seconds. I'll call it there. Thanks ever so much.
What I definitely will point out now is level of during the interval, go talk to some of the other poets here, because not only are they good people, therefore good to talk to them, they also do lots of poetry stuff. So Katie runs a poetry night. There are many other people in this room that run a poetry night. I was going to start mentioning people's names, but I'm going to realize I'm going to probably forget someone midway through, and that would have been awkward, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to suggest that you talk to people in the room to know what other nights are going. But also, one more time for Katie! And now from applause, can we get a drum roll, please? As our next open micer, coming the very, very long way from the sofa, is Sam the Slammer!
Hello, hello. Okay, I think that's tall enough. Okay, I'm going to do quite an old poem, which I was shit. And this is about my ex-boyfriend. And we decided to part ways because he actually suffered a fall and he fell into someone else's mouth with his penis multiple times. And unfortunately, that mouth had gonorrhea. So if anyone's had oral and rectal gonorrhea, no, okay, just me. So yeah, not the best of times. But this poem was my first poem after, just that horrible experience of realizing it wasn't about me, it wasn't my fault. It was just the relationship was shit. Well, actually, he was shit, and he's shit, and he will be in that pattern for a long time of being in relationships, getting bored, cheating because he's bored. This is my poem called Bore Friend. No matter how much I could have adored, my love didn't cut the mustard, you must have just got bored. I heard about nights you poured your drunken heart out to the boys. You wanted something real to peel you up from the floor, but that was before it was put on your plate. I guess you just wanted a change from fucking the fake away. I guess all that you wanted is not what you thought. It takes time and trust until, oops, you get caught. You got careless. You must have got bored. And those nights we spent beside each other, well, I must have lost my luster, because apparently it was me and not sleep that caused your snores. That's why you found some other mutt to place your paws. I guess I got mine and you definitely got yours. Or did fucking me become a guilty chore? Did my throat not do the job anymore? Did you just get bored? Was it just a new hobby to pass the days, like a board game to entertain you? Did you win? Did you get the reward? Did you leave and stop playing because you got a high score? Monopolize the gaze while I went down on a snake and somehow my mouth got sore? Was that a calculated escape or a sexual health checkup, checkmate from throwing your piece around while I was your pawn? Was it that black and white? Did you just get bored? Unclaw your claws, I'm gonna ignore your ignores while I move on to more sustainable, obtainable, and something I can be a bit more sure. I could let my life revolve around what could have been, should have been, but you fucked it because you fucked him, or I could kick your ass out and slam the metaphorical door. Because thoughts of you are a guest, and baby boy, you ain't welcome anymore. So take yourself and your life, and why don't you fuck off, Matt North? Took 4 months to stop hating you. I guess I just got bored. Thank you.
That was incredibly satisfying to listen to, especially because the last time I saw you was at Shits and Scribbles in December, and we had like a mini therapy session. Sorry? Yeah, but that was, yeah, no, I'm really proud of you. That came out way more patronizing than I intended. I'm so sorry. It's really nice to see you. Anyway, what's in my hand? What's in the hat? Panto. It fucking might be. Please welcome to the stage Joshua Grimstad.
That was unexpected, but funny nonetheless. I'm sorry, Kayla. Right, cool. I'm doing Roundhouse on Thursday. If you want to give me feedback from my poems, lovely, thank you. Cool. Yeah, content warning for sex metaphors. I'd give it that. Hey, I'm Ace. I don't always like them. Humanity flirts with extinction, has a crush on self-destruction, walks in wakes of fire, only to ask nature, hey, is it a bit hot in here, is it just me? Humanity likes the heat, turns it up 1.5 degrees and basks under a magnifying glass. Got bored of ants a while ago, wanted something with a bit more flair. Looking up at itself, it stares, goes from tanned to burned to fossilized. Humanity craves mirrors. Like Spongage, goes from lakes to sheets of foil, craves release from mortal coils, craves the teeth-rotting sweetness of self-destruction, craves autoerotic asphyxiation. Humanity lies in ecstasy, stealing glances at itself by the pond. From glass-eyed reflections, goes in for a kiss, is submerged instead, settles next to another extinction. Humanity cannot swim. So how many species die at the hands of a plastic bag? How many species die at the hands of our narcissism? There's nothing left to lose apart from everything. So what can go wrong? Turn up the heat, give us nothing to eat. In this war of attrition, we long for defeat. Humanity craves permanence, reflects its values onto the children who can't fathom what it means to end. We reassure them it's natural. It's natural we survive. No, death is not the end. It can't be because we cause it all the time. Thank you. It would help if I had typed that one out because I can't read my own handwriting for toffee. take 2 of that. Yeah, okay, I think we'll do that one. We'll do the one that I can actually read, thanks. So I've written, yes. Thank you. If things load, that would be lovely. Yeah, I did that, didn't I? Oh, I put this one, I reserved it. I put it in a little spot when I'm going to read this thing. I put it there. Contents warning for like death and grief and things. Gwaed/Gwaeddi. There is a reason that our words for scream and blood sit so close on the school bench. Old mates, same street, same cold-stained fingers moving old blankets, same pitch on the kitchen floor. Same smiles, stitched back on behind closed doors, same roof, same folks. Same red on black. Let feelings resonate. The echo chamber of a mountain leaves them reeling at the gates, empty. Nothing behind the windows but slag and debris. No Gwaed or Gwaeddi, once bright gems now faded. You can't tuck the coal into bed at night. You can't tuck loss into bed at night. Cenedl/Cenedlaeth. There is a reason that the words for nation and generation sit together. Hold hands, drink milk together. What is one without the other? For when the milk is spilt, what remains turns glass into dirt, into hill forts full of gems, and we stand our ground as always. Never is only as long as we remember. So we say never, never again, and we remember forever and always. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joshua. Can I get a drum roll? Cool. Next up onto the stage, please welcome to the stage the one and only Fausta!
Okay, hello. My name is Fausta, and I got a new poem. And it's me processing the scariness of entering a relationship, which I knew I was gun shy, but I didn't know I'd be so freaked out about commitment. So this is about that. I don't know how to build things to last. Picked so many things up only to put them down. Rattled in a cage of smatterings from the project's past. I don't know how to build things to last. There's a hole in my planning, an anxiety leak. Fear-mongering thoughts knock, you're weak, pathetic and useless. Nobody wants you, no one ever has. This shift to normalcy, or our version of it, has seemed seismic. Crash from the high of your sweet sticky sap. You could leave me, you could shatter me. You tucked away my wings of flight with all your goddamn light. How you see me, constant cute looks and smiles reserved for me, holding me tight with so much goddamn love. And now I'm trying with all my might to see if they will hear a plea to go before you do. But they stay tucked away, not restrained, just resting, not clipped, just chillin'. The energy to lose before the course is run is none. The unmasking is occurring at a rate I'm not used to. A combination of the no place to hide 30s and past mistreatment makes me have a few quintessential freakouts. But this one is running deep, like I went to sleep and woke up in grief. Questions of how could I attach all my self-worth to you? Question of, is this how I've made past lovers feel? Most unwittingly, but still. Is that the sticking point that must come unstuck? I cannot live in this level of insecurity. It's taken way too many years from me. My belly bloats and freaks amongst the weight of this malaise. Tears are far too easy to come. I want to stick my thumb out and hijack away from this whimpering rawness. But the guts back where they belong, tears back in their ducts. You call me priestess, I call you magician. Not the rabbit out of hat kind, the alchemist kind. Working with all elements. Spells created to keep strong and carry on. I cry on your shoulder, let the truth out, then massage your worn calves as an exchange. The calming, soothing soothes us both, I hope. I want to draw up the plans and build us to last, if you'll let me. If that sounds good to you, I want to take this ride with you. That's that. Thank you so much. Kayla and Tyrone, am I okay to do a tiny, quick, shameless plug? Okay, so my name is Fausta, aka Jolie Licks. I'm promoting a spoken word festival that is happening next week. It's called Re-Enchant. We have 7 days of amazing poets, including Outspoken Press, John Hegley, if you're into him. I'll be running a Sip and Rhyme sort of performance workshop on the Friday. And come and talk to me and I'll give you a flyer. And this is a really amazing night and thank you so much.
Hey, you're not allowed to laugh at that. Anti-Semitic. I'm Jewish. We just don't grow that high. That was a much quieter laugh. You're allowed to laugh at that. It's genuinely a stereotype people don't know. I had the joy of, I didn't meet you at, I recently saw Fausta when I was on tour in Birmingham, and you came to that show. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Thanks. Sorry. And I went, hey, I know you. And then we went through like every poetry night in London where we could have met. And I think we landed on Chits and Scribbles anyway. It's really nice to see you again. But yes, thank you for reminding me. We have a little merch table over there. I had this whole bit that I do about the Lion King and merchandise and paying for things. But actually Sam Grudgings has a much shorter way of saying it, which is, I loved your poetry, here is some money. So if you love Tyrone's poetry, buy his book. It's great. It's on sale over there. You'll hear my poetry later if you like it. Buy my book, which is also for sale over there. You'll hear Amy's poetry. Buy her book, which is also for sale over there. And we also have a surprise extra book. We have Ali's book. We'll see if the poetry gods smile on you tonight, Ali. But if you do get to hear Ali perform and you like it, give her some money. The book's for sale over there. If you don't. Or sorry, if the poetry, okay, can we just? Thanks, Take. It's just okay. It's been 5 weeks. If the poetry gods do not smile on Ali, buy the book anyway. It's a surprise. Also poetry. And thank you, Tig, for your Hat Bitch's name is Tig. I feel like we should have done that before we called you. Also, I was going to call you Hat Boy. That was my name for you, but Tyrone. Anyway, this is why people think you're queer. Anyway, drum roll, please. Another first-timer Process new member of the family. Please welcome Tamsin.
I'm not Jewish, but I also don't grow that high. Even less than Jewish people, apparently. I will find out, maybe. I don't know how I'll find out. This is new, if I can find it. I don't know where it is. It's here. Lost shit. Found shit. And it's literally about family shit. It doesn't have a title. Years ago, when that split second came, when all the worlds changed, all the gods looked down but weren't sure what to say. But I did not know. Not until years later, when the cracks have shown so many times that they've turned into moth-eaten holes, and the air stays thick and foggy with all the words that no one spoke. The unsaid words hang in the air and gradually turn cold, as years of distance cement themselves into a shell. I didn't know that you would become a deadweight I carry, a trauma I dumped too quickly at unsuspecting doors, because even I got desensitized to the violence of it all. And they can blame me, Say I caused the cracks that swallowed a family, but I built a border and a fence and a boundary, got into the trenches, forged an army from my hot anger and the thick veil of disgust that separates you from me, because if I'm not protecting myself, then who the fuck else will be? When I knew that I hated you, I was able to be free, but I'll forever be cursing your name with every calm exhale that I breathe. I said I won't study war no more, and for the most part that is true, but nothing on this earth could stop me from studying war against you. Thank you. More family shit or something else? Townsend shit. Okay, I actually really didn't know what else to read, but like I've got a gut feeling. Thank you. That was better than someone who just shouted gut shit at me. It's called Cambridgeshire. I'm looking at the fields in Cambridgeshire, and I wasn't meant to be here. I never asked to be here. I never asked for you to speak to me when we were over there. You picked me out of a crowd and pierced my skin. I never meant to let you in. Why did you have to walk in here? Can I make you disappear so I can go back in time to something harder but more simple? I thought it would be easy until it got so tough. Now you might not be enough, and I know I never was. You would have never let this become some kind of love. Blue sky meets green fields, but to me it looks so rough. And all the tourists are so happy with their unexpected trip. I'm chewing on my lips. I'll never get a grip on all of this. Yesterday I was on that cliff, looking at an ugly city and making a pretty wish, but now I wish it was all gone. I wish I never heard that song. I wish I had stayed at home and that those green lights had never shone. All the horses are out grazing, and I could be there too. Down on 4 legs, not haunted by a ghost called you. And all the tourists are so happy with their unexpected trip. I'm chewing on my lips. I'll never get a grip on all of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tamsin! You're all right with one more open micer for this half, yes? Cool. Can I get a drum roll, please? Our last open micer for this first half is going to be, if I can get this open, there we go. Please welcome to the stage one of the process regulars, the one and only Sumner!
So the word girl has taken on a new meaning recently that I'm not like the biggest fan of. People use the phrase girl math and girl dinner to mean something that's insufficient or kind of frivolous. And I don't know, I like girls. I know. And this poem is called Girl Math. I'm doing girl math. That's when I buy girl coffee with my girl money that I earn at my girl job, that I earned with my girl degree and my girl decade of girl experience. And then they give it to me in my girl cup, which is girl reusable and girl sustainable, because I'm doing my girl bit for the Girl Pacific garbage patch. And then I go girl home on the girl bus to my girl room, and I give myself a girl lobotomy with my girl ice pick. Thank you. People say, oh, how can you write poems about girlhood? Aren't you non-binary? And the truth is, I'm girlish and I'm boyish. And my girlfriend is always telling that to people, right? That's what goyish means, right? Like a fucking sniper to its target audience, that joke. This next poem is new shit. And it's not based on a real person. This poem's called Hurt People, and the first line will require me to assume the persona of a heterosexual man, so just give me a second. Hurt people, hurt people. He says, smugly, pausing to reposition his zin. And I feel like a trampoline without a net, like a landmine, like an autopiloted Tesla approaching a middle school, like a fully wound machine built for violence, like a self-fulfilling prophecy. He nods solemnly over the concave curve of his split G, as if things that sound good have inherent truth. As if the simple symmetry of the phrase makes it deeper than the puddle of bitter collecting under his glass, soaking into the corner of his unused paper coaster. That it means more because it matches. But I could say, cross people, or fuck boys, or Cillian Murphy kills Ian Murphy. And it would be the same thing. The same as landing the blame in some Ouroboros of violence, some inevitable equational outcome. That the only thing that comes from pain is more of it, like endless Larkinian misery. Rather like this conversation. So I break an intergenerational cycle of tormenting and being tormented and go for a piss. Thank you.
As a heterosexual male in the room. One more time for Sumner, everyone! Okay, it's feature time now, and I have been looking forward to getting this feature down for ages. The level of like, we've always had them on the list of like, we want to get them down, but we didn't have the money to do it because they kind of moved out of London. How rude of them. But we found a way to do it, and we're so happy to do it. In terms of them as a poet, they have got so many accolades that I do not have time to mention them all, and also get them onto their poem as well, and get you guys on. What I will say is one of the first times I remember meeting them must have been in like a Hammer and Tongue in Camden at some stage now. I feel like they were featuring, I want to say, this is when my memory goes bad, they have or had like a pamphlet or early kind of thing out about like, titled like Back to the Future poems, stuff like that, which definitely inspired one of like my first poems in my first book there. And like they have been an important part of my poetry journey in so many ways. They clearly became a part of like my friendship group. They're just a really, really good person, and just a really, 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 really acclaimed poet. They are incredible, they are wonderful, and they're also lovely as fucking shit. So please welcome to the stage the one and only Amy Aker!
You think you're going without a hug? Come on, man. Oh, it's right height. Are you a bit Jewish, Taryn? I'm Jewish, I can say that. It's part of it. There's a poem that knows how to carry a name through time. It's full of plants and places whose names curve like winding roads. Waltzing names like Aviemore and Goldenrod. Ancestral magnolia stiffening into star anise and sleeping in rhyme for 1,000 years. There's a spot called Panther Mountain with fringed pergola, and somewhere a small town bordered by a dark woods with a hunter's cabin in a clearing. I'm there, sitting on the porch of the cabin, looking up at the sky of the poem. You're there too. And all the good that you've done stretches out across the sky like clouds made of tiny white letters. Like a letter written on a napkin at a party that's cleared of kin and dying out. I tell you that the cabin in your mind, white sky among the starflowers and trout lilies, is better than a party, even one that involves napkins. And you laugh like letting air out of a tire, because I am peddling nonsense and you are smarter than me. And I say, that is my gift to you, and then you look annoyed. By this time, the ice is melting and we are running out of napkins. So we run into the deep of the woods and write our names on the leaves of the poem. We have to write our names on every single leaf, otherwise the poem will never end. But as we're writing, smoky rain comes to slake the dark green membranes of the leaves, and it's so lush, it's kind of dirty, like a time-lapse film of growing fungus, or an arrow-headed spruce in morning fog, middle fingers pointing up. How will we know which leaves we've already written on? One of us asks. And the other says it's a poem. We're not supposed to know. I say, let's do 5 more and call it a day. You say, let's do 10 to be safe. And I don't tell you that there's no such thing as safe, that you are dead and I am the one stuck at the party and you will never read my letter. Or that a poem is a letter to the dead or dying like a breath is a paving stone. Or that often I find it easier to talk to people who have left the party. Instead, I go back to my leaves and I nod and I say over my shoulder, that sounds like a plan. Just 10 more. Thank you. You guys are exceptional at the poetry. I've enjoyed that a lot. Like, I almost had to stop the poem to just enjoy it. This is my book, Mother Song. There are copies at the back. I'm going to read some poems from it. And I thought that in honor of Tyrone, that I would start with a film-themed poem, if I can find it. Here it is. So this is a poem that I wrote after seeing the film Chinatown for the first time as an adult. I don't know if you guys liked it. If you did, sorry, not sorry. I hated it. And I found a lot of its treatment of women and of abuse quite troubling. And I Googled afterwards to see if other people felt the same, because it's obviously like a deeply loved film. And what I found was just a lot of articles about Jack Nicholson's personal style, and kind of what a fashion icon his character is. And then I realized that if I wanted to find a piece of writing about how I felt about the film, that I was going to have to write it. I'm going to give a content warning for rape and incest and spoilers. In the sorry. In the last 2 minutes of Roman Polanski's Chinatown, Jack Nicholson looks cool and brooding as Catherine Cross is dragged off by the man who raped her mother. Nicholson rocks a classy anthracite fedora, understated 3-piece, and the trademark blend of iconoclasm and reluctant moral fiber that has defined him as a timeless noir anti-hero. J.J. Gittes, played by multi-Academy Award winner Nicholson, is all shock and relatable depth as Evelyn Mulwray's vitreous humour soaks into pleather. Joe Mantell utters the seminal line, "Forget it, Jake, it's Chinatown," as Catherine goes to an invisible house, escorted by her father/grandfather, dressed spangled with pieces of Faye Dunaway. In the last 2 minutes of Chinatown, rated 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, the Panavision camera stays on Jack Nicholson's face in an ending reimagined by celebrated director Roman Polanski from Robert Towne's original script, which saw Dunaway escape with her daughter. We close on 3 men in a road, absorbing the tragic irony of good intentions in an ugly world, as somewhere, Catherine lies among bird skeletons, talking to gaps in the brick. Polanski, supported by a who's who of Hollywood greats after sodomizing a 13-year-old, countered typical silver screen happy endings with this groundbreaking denouement, which has led many to view Chinatown as one of the greatest films of all time. Thank you. All right, I'm going to do a more upbeat poem now. This is called Dance on My Grave. This poem's about my daughter embarrassing me at a graveyard. Just because it's where she used to go to ballet, and then we used to play in the park afterwards, and it was like in a churchyard, and she just wanted to jump on all the graves. But it's also named after a book. Dance on My Grave by Aidan Chambers was a 1982 YA novel, and it was a really seminal book because it was one of the first YA novels to have a gay positive storyline. And it was really great, and I discovered it in my school library and couldn't believe that this book existed and no one knew about it, and I just kind of kept it to myself and read it, and it was like my special secret. I didn't give it back, obvs. You know, when you have a kid, sometimes you feel like you've lost a bit of yourself, especially like your queer self or your, I don't know, messy self. So I guess this poem's kind of speaking into that. So this is Dance on My Grave. In St. Mary's Garden, my child is jumping on graves. I try to catch her, unruly pigeon, winging between broken sundial, benches that remember. She wants me to dance with her among the dogs and tilia, stone chests and hart's tongue, and I try to explain. Someone's under there. A character actor I can't place pretends not to see us. I keep my eyes on the slabs. Kid kicks in tap tails and top hat holding a leaf. Knows without knowing how rationed sunlight, death's withholding, makes us want to turn up the bass. Dance on My Grave was a book I stole from school. Library plastic wrapped thrill about two boys, South End geeks who held each other from the ground up. One, uprooted, kept holding, while the other became earth swallowing still in the flower of grief. And as I read, I plunged my tips into dirt, downing fistfuls of queer and glowing language. Rose and petaled, my cyberdog dyed head, a many-colored baptisia spread, inhaled and concealed between pages. Time capsule to raise later. There's nothing quiet about the dead. Nitrogen ghosts fibrillate soil into spring that births birdsong. Coral bells are bursting, budding, or spent, and I think of pissing in bushes. the way bark feels against your bareback duck yards haunted by lighters and cider. Child of mine sways, resurrects a chorus line of vertebrae. I cave, rest on the unwritten corner of a ledger stone. I'm sure they won't mind. And I keen for the thunder if I were to rise in rhythm, lift a boot and slam it down. Feel the dirt, give me back. Thank you. Thanks. I wasn't going to do this poem, but then I've decided to, basically as a result of the hat. So I'm going to dedicate this to Raheem. I write a fuckload of dad poems. It's all right. A few years ago, I turned the age that my dad was when he died. And it was during the first lockdown. So it was just quite a sort of deathy time. This is called Azrael. At the age you are now, your father's body had built a nest for an angel. You, key stage 2, couldn't place why he coughed wing beats. Cried shameless, the year white coats saw the stowaway. Photobomber in a radio wave. Today, tapping 40, your neck convexes. You bookmark testaments. Nothing makes sense like a toddler walking around with your face, hurling a sippy cup at the wall. This summer we're home, brazing our skirting boards, and the bees are brave. Buzzing thickets comfort crushed shale into shade, and you run to remember not all angels are hereditary. In one version, God drops a leaf, and 7 billion eyes read your name. 40 days later, a test card. This summer we cling to our TVs like gastropods on a rock. The Land Before Time washes up on Netflix. Littlefoot's mum is dead. Like Simba's dad is dead. Like Bambi's mum is dead. Like Bastian's mum is dead. If this is how we level up to protagonist, you'd rather swim in the shadow of a demiurge. You swing your daughter dizzy in the garden to remember not all childhoods are hereditary. At the age you first met memory, she spies her shadow, takes it everywhere, but watches Mama Dinosaur die dry-eyed while you break on the Black Friday couch. 4,000 wings trying you on for size. Wonder why your kid's hypothetical loss stings sharper than your lived one. You ask your mother. She says when the angel came, she couldn't look directly at your grief, a wooden doll inside hers. You say kids are resilient, you were okay. She says you weren't though, were you? Thank you so much. I'm going to read one more, if that's okay. This has been a delight. This is fucking awesome. Thank you, Tyrone, Kayla, you guys. This is very beautiful. I'm going to end on the last poem in the book, which is about giving birth to my daughter. Are there any parents in the house? I know there are some, most of them can't make it out, but so some of you have done it. Basically me and Rick. When you're about to have a baby, you make a lot of plans. You have a birth plan, and you might have like a birth playlist. You might have plans for what you're going to do with the placenta. People turn it into smoothies and vitamin tablets and shit. So basically a birth plan is a list of things that you forget the moment that your contractions start. So this is T-0. It won't matter if the water is hot or cold. It won't matter about the plastic tub for the placenta or which pajamas when you lie on a floor next to the lift. Trolleys splash rocky down corridors, each contraction a red sun setting over, and in you rise out of water, his eyes catching you falling into the room when she swells into the water. A tree splitting to give way to lightning, her head like God cracking a rock, a planet, a red sun rising blood. Won't matter. Frog slither neck and shoulders, and he in the sun all kneeling, your hands full of someone slick. Minute, God, when she comes, you won't remember if she cried, because look at the day arriving. Someone is here. Thank you.
I'm so glad that you did poems about your daughter. I had the joy of staying with Amy when I was on tour, and I got to play with said daughter. We played life-size Pac-Man, and she took me to the imaginary land of Worm World, where everything was small, but we were also small, so it balanced out. It was a great time. Those poems are so beautiful. They made me so warm inside. Oh. Thank you, Amy.
One more time for Amy Aker, everyone! To pick up on what Kayla has said earlier in the night, if you liked what you heard just there, give Amy some money, buy her damn book. It's so fucking worth it.
It's really good. It's really, really good.
We've got an interval coming up now, so if you've got something to do in the interval, do that. That's everything for the interval. Obviously, go toilet, take insulin, all that stuff, but also buy Amy's book. Do it.
We have an announcement to make.
Yes, you want to do your announcement?
Can I do it, please?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
So programming our features, we never miss, not to brag, but we don't. And so much thought goes into our features, and there are so many brilliant poets that will be on our list for months and months and months until something will click and we'll go, oh, they'd go really well with this person. So we're going to tell you who our features are for next month. They are both poets that sort of sat on our list that we were talking about for I shit you not 6 months until Everything Poetry Night earlier this month. Almost a month ago now, and we saw them both perform, and Taryn and I both just went. So we've got a family affair next month. We've got 2 members of the Process family. Do you just snort at family affair?
A little bit.
Can you let me be dramatic? Okay. Next month, featuring at Process, we have the wonderful, fantastic, and brilliantly well-paired, if I do say so myself, Sumner Brooke and Fiona Broadhurst. Sometimes at poetry nights, Tyrone will just make notes on his phone and show them to me, and I'm shut up and listen to the poetry, but also yes. And after Fiona performed and then Sumner performed a few poets later, I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, that's it. And then I turned around after Sumner's set, and Tyrone had had a note on his phone saying Sumner and Fiona, and I was like, yes, that's what anyway, it's gonna be great. It's also my birthday month. I'm turning 30 in a week. No big deal. I know. Thank you so much. Anyway, so you can all be very excited about that and go chat to them, tell them how excited you are, and buy Amy's book before she goes back to Nottingham. And if you liked Tyrone's poem, buy his book. I'm okay, Ali.
Getting there.
Give me. I only
There's
have.
a whole spiel. It's a planned spiel for this.
And buy Ali's book. Oh yeah. Okay. Can you?
There's
You
a
also
merch table. Buy every book on the merch table. Do
because
that. Buy
look,
all
all
the
right.
books.
Object permanence. It's not. Anyway, buy Fiona's book, which is also really good. Can everyone stop laughing at me for 5 minutes? Buy Fiona's book, which is not on the merch table. But if you go and talk to her, she'll sell you one, and she only has like 9. Do you still have 9? You've got 4 left. Great. I got a sneak peek. It's really great. Also buy Ali's book, which I edited or helped edit, sort of. Was I the final edit? Sick. Should we do an interval now?
Buy all the books. Also, whilst you
Take
go
your
for the
insulin.
interval, take your insulin if you want to.
Okay, good.
Yes. If you want to, the bar should still be serving food for a little bit longer. Quickly do that as well.
Oh, yeah. They let us use the space for free. So, please buy drinks at the bar, buy food. It's really good.
And then we'll be back here to start the second half at 9:05. So, doing that.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Did you have a nice interval? Did you have some water? Did you just wave at me? It's okay. It's nice to see you. Hi. Hi.
What have I missed?
5 Tuesdays. Everyone's just waving.
Welcome back to Process.
I hope you had a nice interval. Did you have a drink? Did you take your insulin? Did you have a snack? Did you say thank you very much to the poets? Did you give them some money? Yeah? Amazing.
Kayla, get off stage,
Yeah,
please. I'm definitely tempted as part of, as we keep doing this level of, it's been so many months of doing this, to have to start inventing new things that Kayla is doing or has been doing, etc. I'm going to choose not to just yet, but I will do just some level of, Kayla has just come off directing another sold-out run of the play that they've been working on, Pickle. So if you have any contacts in the theatre world or anything, make sure they hire Kayla, because Kayla's really good at this kind of shit. Kayla's also, thankfully, really good at the poetry shit, so they're going to do a poetry thing for you now. So please welcome to the stage, Kayla!
Hello. I was trying to decide between 2 poems, and then Tyrone helpfully reminded me that, because Andy wanted one and Tig wanted the other, and then I asked Tyrone, and he helpfully reminded me that one of them contains a beef I have with a poet, and he said maybe let's not shit on them tonight. They're not here, to be clear. But anyway, this is being filmed, so... On the 2nd of April, I was 3 years sober. Don't applaud, we don't have time. I wrote this, I think, probably roughly around the 2 and a bit year mark. This is called Another Round, and it is about, after the film of the same name. Who's clicks for who's seen that film? That's too few. Spoilers. Soz. In the final minutes before the credits roll, Mads Mikkelsen moves muscles that haven't seen air since he was 19. He flexes the fibers of his funeral suit, kicks boot against boot with his fellows, flies off the edge of the pier and is free. And that's how I remember it. I remember never feeling the cold. Short skirts, no tights in -3 degrees, breezing my way through pickup lines. It was so easy to find someone to worship me, and not just anyone. These boys were beautiful. And I felt like Wonder Woman. Could spread my arms, leap off the face of the fucking earth and be caught. No parachutes for me, baby. I've got sex appeal. Reel them in and they'll be there. Mouths gasping for my breath, mine. I remember loving fiercely, emptying my lungs to let the astronauts know, these are my friends and I love them, I love them, I love them. In stifled midnight giggles, bodies tangled in one big sigh, like we'd never be this high again, not like we were off each other. You are my friend and I love you, I love you, I love you. I remember recklessness, high risk, high reward over no risk, boring, breaking into Molsom Stadium to watch the sunrise on the rooftop, bellies full of 4 a.m. poutine. 2 a.m. on Moreland Avenue. Wake up, I'm home and I want to play. Stop having sex with Josh, play with me. Hi-fi on a Wednesday for Motown night, fruity on a Friday, because everyone will be there, smokestack any day. Kiss me, I'm fine, love you, let's go. Chips, oh my God, chips. We won the varsity final. I don't understand it, but it's fucking excellent. And you know what they say, you can't spell Leeds without LSD and 2 E's, and you can't spell Beckett without BTEC and Ket. We love a classist rugby chant. No drugs for me, please, but I will do 7 shots of tequila in a row, because I can handle it, and I actually can. Who's on Lucy duty? Robin's driving the night bus. Fitz, have you got Katie? Pre-drinks, after party, shouty, shouty, games night, shots, 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 threesome. Are you joking? Is she joking? None of us are joking. No sleep, bus, club, another club, plane, next place, no sleep, no fear. I wasn't scared of anything because I was a fucking god. My days were unending and I had so many days. I had days to spare, I had days for days. I was fun and I was free and I was young and I am still all those things, but there is something missing now and I can never have it again. I think I still had more in me. More days, bigger days, endless days. That's the big secret. I want to go back. That final frozen frame says it all. After Mads Mikkelsen leaps into the water, after the credits roll, Thomas Vinterberg says he sought to make a film that celebrates life. But his daughters ended 4 days into filming, and when he accepted his Oscar, he spoke of rescue, of miracles. Ida Vinterberg died exactly 14 years and 1 day after I lost 3 people I loved because one man was having a day, a normal day, a day of go home, bud, you're not fit for work, sleep it off, come back tomorrow. The kind of day that became normal for me too. Days of it's 5 o'clock somewhere and there's nothing else to do and the bottle's open anyway, but there's only half left, so may as well open another one and may as well finish that one too. Facing 3 life sentences back to back, he swore he'd never drive again. He did not say he'd never drink again. We've all said that, haven't we? But then you have a day, any day, any brilliant or brutal surge of sunlight, any bright or beautiful set of hours. It's either perfect or punishing, either sorrows to drown or bottles to pop. Either way. Pub? Just one. I've got work in the morning. This round's on me. Thank you. We have another feature for you. I know, it's so exciting. Also, I'm really sorry. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit because something also that happened this month is I got diagnosed as autistic with ADHD, which means that I sometimes don't think of something really important until it's too late. I'm really sorry that I didn't trigger warning that one. My brain didn't alert me to that necessity until it was too late. I apologize. That's on me. If you want a hug, you can have one. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. That's all you can do. Would you like another feature? Cheer as loud as you did before. Thank you. So I'm really excited about our next feature because I first saw them at the night that they run called Off the Chest, which is brilliant. I went to see. I went because I knew one of the features and I knew the other co-host. And then I met Ifti, and it's like if you like what me and Tyrone do, what they do is really similar. It's really brilliant, and watching 2 people who are best pals is just like the most amazing thing to see. And I've seen him perform since then at Everything Poetry Night, and I think another Poetry Night, and every time I am just so like wrapped with attention at just the choice of words. You'll see. Not to spoil the magic for you. He's also done like so much with Apples and Snakes and the V&A organisations. I think I would genuinely donate a kidney. Not like my Not like another organ, because I need those, but like one I could do without. Do you know what I mean? Like giving a kid, anyway, like I think I would give a kidney to work with those organizations, and it's so well deserved. I'm so thrilled. Please welcome to stage the wonderful, oh no, I'm gonna plug it so that you don't have to use your time doing that. On the 7th of May, Off the Chest are doing a show in Brighton. 7th of May is my birthday. I know, I already have plans, but if you want to celebrate Kayla Day in your own fashion, go to Brighton and see Off the Chest. They've got Dan Simpson as one of their features, who we've tried to get here so many times, but he lives in Brighton. So, so please welcome to stage the wonderful, fantastic Ifti.
East London is the only perfect place on earth. I've been here since birth, bury me in East End dirt. Cherish these streets from Whitechapel to Bow Church, Stepney Green, Bethnal Green and Shadwell is the turf. Brick Lane, Bungler Townhouse, immigrants and cockneys, now all Shoreditch is overrun by them yuppies. Gentrifiers from the shires come here and Hackney, popping up like acne, pushing us all out swiftly. £8 for a coffee? You're having a bubble. This ain't ends. Hipsters and young professionals are all pretend. Shops having to cater to these high-end bell ends, while locals get shortchanged, struggle to meet ends. Insta don't have filters for the problems you're masking. We can't all get pushed out to Dagenham and Barking. But by the way things are going, we won't be lasting. EastEnders are the lifeblood, the ones who start things. And without us, what does this area have left? Soulless chain stores and corporate-sponsored theft. Houses bought by millionaires, empty, they've left. A city-annexed area, no heart in the chest. Just money in the pockets of shiny Savile Row suits. Funny because then they use our slang, another way to loot. Bankers, property developers and councillors all in cahoots. They backstabbed and bled astride, then blame the crime on the Utes. Tech bros in hoodies that don't get profiled by the feds. Rich white girls in balaclavas because it's the new TikTok trend. Old money Donny saying, this place used to be a shithole, raising his glass. I'd rather go hungry than swallow the regeneration myths they peddle us. East London is the only perfect place on earth. I've been here since birth, bury me in East End dirt. That is, if it hasn't been turned into a cafe my family can't afford. That is, if it isn't the new Mayfair with houses owned by lords. The earth is only perfect when we honor the East End, where it's all happening and any geezer can be your friend. Any person can be your sibling because we're bonded by the graft. I know money rules this country, but we'll have the last laugh. The last laugh will be sweet. You pull a face from the taste. Nectar for the working people, the ones who run this place. The ones breaking backs, driving cabs to put rice in the cooker. The ones like my dad who drives an Uber for our futures. East London is the only perfect place on earth. I've been here since birth, bury me in East End dirt. Cherish these streets from Whitechapel to Bow Church. Stepney Green, Bethnal Green and Shadwell is the turf. Thank you. Thank you. That was a poem called The Only Perfect Place on Earth. It's after a grime MC called MIC. He did the song about North London. I was like, nah. I'm glad to be here. One more time for Process Productions, please. I love Kayla. I love Tyrone. Amy Aker was amazing, of course. Got a lot to go through, so I'm just going to keep going. This one's got a bit of call and response. Can you do that for me? Yeah. I said, can you do that for me? Yeah. All right. Every time I say a body like mine, you say back to me, a body like... Oh, yes. What? Let's practice. A body like mine. 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 A body like mine is too unrealistic to be represented in films, TV, or any medium where medium-build chubby torso is on a proud pedestal of ashy brown knock knees. Sometimes I'm quite pleased that I've not yet been perceived by media lenses that act as plastic wrap for my appearance, quickly distributing it through Netflix supply chains ready to be consumed on high-def platters. A body like mine is too unachievable to be obtained by ordinary Olympians or your garden variety Hollywood hard bodies. It would take years of eating bountiful amounts of basmati adorned with the finest curries cooked with my mother's golden touch just to meet the nutrient requirements alone. When asked, Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger shed manly tears over how they were so near achieving a body like mine and yet didn't have the facilities for it. Like that. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine is too unattractive to attract the masses. It is therefore quite right that I am defined as a cult classic, acquired taste, and growing on me until I'm a dad bod giant in your subconscious desires. The hair on me is a draft excluder that keeps out fair weather lovers. The lack of muscles on my arms mean I'm unable to carry any freeloaders, and my poor eyesight means you might just need to be as special as me to catch my gaze. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine is too unwieldy to swim the currents of male fashion trends. Instead, a bespoke fashion code must be etched into the Rosetta Stone of my weekly wardrobe so that those clothes exactly fit my strange slabs that I call thighs and are the right length for my Bengali boy height. Like an emperor showing the gladiators the thumbs down for execution, I filter ASOS for anything that won't act as a showcase for my awkward frame. My body is a guide, much like the blueprint for a majestic skyscraper. Not just any glass panes will do, because I need to be encased in materials that match my metal. Thank you. This is a great audience, by the way. Shout out to all of the open micers. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest as well, I'll tell you that. My chosen path was eggs that I fried instead of letting grow, tossed in a pan, sizzling in the hot oil of my parents' words. Friends and cousins and neighbors and lovers doing up progress. But I keep my dreams parked in the bay of my bed. I walk down the Isle of Dogs on cool Tower Hamlets nights, main road smelling of exhaust pipes and exhausted families. But a stroll in the cold feels like fresh sheets for my being. I add weights to the barbells of my thoughts. Luckily, I've got a few trusted ones who spot me. Want you to know that your banter does more for me than 1,000,000 years of therapy. My mind takes the words, "let's chill," and associates it with freezing time on Victoria Park's many benches. Cigarette smoke swapped for vape smoke swapped for cardio, and then back to fags. I hate the smoke, but I like you lot. I like you lot a lot. Smoke out the demons, lighting up convos, our clothes are stained with smells we'll vaguely recall tomorrow. Pissing into the canal shouldn't feel as fun as it does. That's what you call dodgy streams, and I ain't talking about the footy. It's great being in the East End's armpits with no place to go. Seeing you pair aloe vera juice with a 20 bag. I don't know how many times I've been saved from my rash decisions by being laughed out of them. Lord knows how many times I've decided to give up fried chicken, but the ketchup is always redder in a neon-lit PFC. When it's time to go, I take the long way home, so I can enjoy the post-link-up thoughts for dessert and wonder whether I am the doubts that weigh me down, or whether I am the person who my mates praise me to be. We're gonna be okay is a phrase punctuated with the word bruv, like bruv, put that egg on some toast and toast to another evening well wasted. Thank you. This is new shit. So if I trip over my tongue, just pretend it didn't happen, because I've definitely made some typos. A bull, and also, I really felt the whole like poems about, constantly writing poems about the dad, I've been writing loads of poems about my parents, and every time I'm like, okay, let's move on, I always get pulled back into it. And my birthday is on Friday, so like when Kayla was talking about, May babies, right? Yeah. Taurus, is that it? Yeah. And Gemini, yeah. A bull will fold like origami from the look of disapproval from its mother. And me, I am the senior gentleman with shag carpet ears who never grew up beyond the pleather bomber or the stinky camo jacket worn like an abandoned tent, eyes tie-dyed, bloodshot, sunk in like potted pool balls. I am the awkward uncle at the Dawath with specks of full owl still in the box goatee, sat in a bent plastic chair far too small, eating vanilla cake with my bare hands, chewing the icing with my nieces and nephews. Their giggles are a hit of raspberry syrup to my veins. Too many old geezers try to hold on to the good old days, their arms embracing them like overinflated balloons keen to fly skyward, and I just laugh. I laugh at them all. The grey in their hair can only be as painted as much, but there's not enough dye to paint over the lost years. Their liver spots disappearing into the folds of their wrinkles like words disappearing into the spine of bad books. I grew into the autumn years like brown leaves going up the arse. If I have to walk with a stick, it will be covered in leopard print. If I have to use a hearing aid, I'll encrust it in cubic zirconia, and I'll still attract the honeys with sharp stings of my wit, which only became sharper as I became long in the tooth. And yet, a bull will fold like origami from the look of disapproval from its mother. And I will watch TV with her, my Versace shirt holding back the meal she filled my belly with eyes trained on a screen through my bulletproof glasses, waiting for an opening for small talk in her guarded stance. I am an old man, but she is an even older woman. To her, I am a toddler who is bathed in Paco Rabanne, with breath sweet as sugar-free Red Bull. We eat and eat and eat, but talk only a little. I would get out of this chair if it wasn't so difficult, walk over to her and just run my hand through her hair, once long and beautifully black velvet. It's now stringy and white, but I still want to feel it. If it wasn't so difficult, I would get out of this chair. Thank you. I think I've got 2 more poems. How am I doing for time? Okay, fantastic. So I have this, I don't know if you guys have had any cousins who are like a similar age to you, and your parents would always kind of compare you a little bit, and then it turned into a competition even though they insisted it wasn't. So I had this cousin, and I just had a conversation with him one day, and it really kind of shaped the way I saw him. So this poem was written after that conversation. It's called 11 p.m. Parked Outside That Place I Used to Rent on the 22nd of March, 2022. My life wasn't mine alone. As much as I prayed and wished it wasn't mine. It was a table with here we go. It was a table with the linoleum covers and plenty of mismatched chairs seating my bejeweled elders first, the streaks of wisdom in their hair worth their weight in silver, watching their precise uttering lips, I learned du'as of a different kind. One's blessing the groceries, the school run, the meat and potatoes of daily routine. Day after day, meal after meal, prayer after prayer, like sea foam at the coast as it shows up and goes, appearing and disappearing again and again. It was my brothers and sisters across the country and across the stain-proof pockets of my Jessop's photo albums. I feel them chatter, breathing life into my moments in between TV shows, scrunching up homework and avoiding fights in the mosque. Blackbirds swirling the skies of my many anxious horizons, their names appeared in my head like rolling credits when I lost the plot. Their helium both inflated my lungs with ambition and exploded them into plastic bag confetti. I prayed as if I was the blessed one himself, putting my hands together not for the hereafter, but for the here now. Ya Allah, is my life not mine alone? Is my life not mine alone? His answer was the quiet of the Fajr. Thanks, fuckers, for jokes buried under insults, buried under worries, buried under more jokes. Thanks, fuckers. You taught me how to hate you for the storms, but love you for the seasons. I would give you my heart if it meant it could still love you, if it meant I could still love you with it while it was in your possessions and needed not beating in my overcrowded chest. And my parents, two tall, shady trees with deep hidden roots, the apple did not fall far from the tree because he wasn't allowed to leave the house. Oh, how many times I rested in your shaded boundaries when I could have enjoyed the naked rays of the sun. I kept where it was cool, and now I see my peers with their sun-lashed skin. I feel spared, but somehow I still want to leather my skin too. My life wasn't a coloring book, it was an Arabic workbook already scrawled on by others. Sandals and hangers held like pistols and saffron rice fluffed with steaming hot duty. As much as I prayed and wished that I could taste the Disney films, the porno formed from ignoring chores, you taught me that this tongue wasn't mine alone to sour, and so I kept it leashed and trained. But it's okay because I love them. I love them all and I love you. Like Ibrahim, peace be upon him, did his son. I want to love like he wanted to follow holy commands, loving so hard that it drove a knife into rational thought itself, twisting it until I open my eyes and see that it made sense all along. When he sparked that engine and we drove on that night, where the stars were under the curfew of the clouds, I could feel him click into my mind's socket. He was the pin in the family's notice board after all. He was the pin. Thank you. And now I wanted to end on something that's really important at the moment, which is the situation in Gaza. Sometimes I feel really powerless as a person because I'm not, even though I have really strongly held political views, I'm not much of an activist. I barely do, the minimum. But I'm a poet, and I think where I can, I want to kind of use my words to say something at the very least. So this is called We Must Not Look Away, and it's based on this article I read in The Guardian, and it's an erasure poem. Instagram has exploded with babies. Abandoned hospitals, huge craters, apartment buildings, bones from rubble. I watch it on my phone, again, dust-covered, anguished father, dead 10-month-old baby rocking him as if to say, gone, 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 over and over. I've never seen a man's body go mad from the inside. I've never seen legs scream, convulsive, electrocuting grief. There must be a person filming. The horror, no longer in this realm, recording, grief in real time, invasive intimacy. This father, a stranger, but the video is on Instagram. The father, the video posted, and mothers, daughters, sisters, granddaughters, mothers cry, loud wail. Let them see us. Let them know our pain. We press the sensitive material buttons on IG Reels. This ritual, Father, I pace my bedroom. To live in America, empire, enterprise, sinking, courage, Israel, Palestine. I've seen with my own eyes checkpoints, walls, cruelty, soldiers, sadism, structure, and yes, demonstrations, letters, petitions, peace activists here in us. Father, I have tried. The mantra, never again. The Jewish, the Congolese, the Bosnians, the Sudanese, the Palestinians, humanity. Father, I feel failure. I feel shame. Gaza destroyed in broad daylight. Babies exploded. People bombed. Their dreams hunted with rifles. Gunned down in wheelchairs. Poets, journalists, doctors, nurses erased. We are watching. We keep watching. They know we are watching. We keep watching. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. You guys are so beautiful. Ooh. I'm also very short. And like Kayla said, if you're from Brighton, if you live near Brighton, please see us on Kayla's birthday on the 7th. She won't be there, but we wish her many happy returns. And yeah, May babies, everybody. Thank you.
Kayla has been lucky enough to get off the chest more than me. Ellie keeps on telling me how good Ifti is, and now I've finally seen the actual good. Like I've seen the full Ifti experience, if you will, and it was very much worth it. One more time for Ifti, everyone! And now it's open micers all the way down. Drum roll, please. As kicking off this last half of the night, can we please welcome to the stage, Ali!
I wasn't prepared. It's my turn. Help. Thank you. Hello. Hey! I have a book. I wrote the book. I published the book all by myself. Please buy one. I need it to pay my rent. I'm not joking. Anyway, I'm going to read something for you now, and maybe you'll like it. I'm going to randomly flip. Ooh, okay. This one is called You Can't Fight Here. You can't fight here deep within my mind, deep in the deepest depths that the darkness finds. You can't fight here beneath the folds of fear, although your intentions might be kind. You can't fight here where it's cold and damp in the creepiest corners where the fears are cramped. You can't fight here where the monsters lair, although you're there to hold my hand. You can't fight here in this hidden hell where I've no hope to flee unhurt. You can't fight here in this pit of tears with these waters muddied by blood and dirt. one more random flip, and then I'm going to read some stuff I found on my phone. This one's called The Scab in My Chest. Trigger warning. I'm not sure what for. Sad things. Sad things. Okay. Absently, I pick at the wounds you have left. When my mind is idle, fingers drift over old wounds, the stinging sensation, bringing my mind to focus. The scabs bleed and promise to scar. Okay, funny story. This one is my brother saw a weird Halloween decoration hanging from a pub and said, "This reminds me of you." I don't know how to respond, but I wrote a poem about it.
With Halloween decoration shit.
Yes! This one's called Hanged. Trigger warning for addiction and sad things. Yes. Tethered to the pub. Addiction is a beautiful woman tempting me, and I am her. Flowers adorn me, but the petals are aged. I am aged. My arms are not mine, and I do not know who they belong to now. It is harder to swallow with a noose around your neck, and he pours me another draft. And I accept it like it was my idea. Was it mine? Yes, she says. The voice in my head berates me and the noose tightens, but pink is only pretty when it's not stained with piss and Pinot Grigio. I don't know how much time I've got left. Anyone can tell me. Okay, cool. This one is called, I'm scrolling through my phone trying to find one whilst I do this. Okay. This one's called Hazal of the Teetering Balance, and it's not a Hazal. I was falsely informed. So I'm going to not form. I want a rope of blackened hair and a guillotine of blunted bone. I want the sun to blind and erase me and my echoing mind to untether itself from my spine. I want elephants to dig deep into the earth and bluish-grey fish to breathe the air, the mantle mirror to start melting, and acid that bores into the earth until we implode. I can hold the fabric of space. As I button every hole the star guns made, I can close my breath, sink into the earth, or wrap my wrists in snake till my fingertips burst, but I cannot stand the heat of your heart in your white throat, like the beating of a warrior's drum. Leave me to seethe in rotting malice, but don't offer your throat. Tempt my teeth. Thank you. Follow me at Mrs. Minnie-Me.
As Sam Grudgings helpfully puts it, if you like the poetry, give Ali some. Yes, books for sale over there. One more time for Ali, everybody. Drum roll, please. Please welcome back to the process stage, Seb.
Hi, thank you. Hi. This is part of it's a long poem on trust, but I'm only going to read one part of it because it's like really long. So the other two parts, the prequels, were about floating and a hand, and this is about the colour pink, but it's all about trust. Or I could describe the colour pink. I could. I'm thinking public execution advertised in neon. All those eider-down soft selfie tones, the flick knife cheekbones of beauty standards. Colour doesn't control me anymore. and I can imagine. I see suburbia wrapped in a see-through layer of children's laughing. The fizzy drink enthusiasm of playgrounds and scabbed knees. The mood of it, like a cashmere scarf tied into a noose. Dreamland of pride costumes and cosplay. My derangement is technicolor. An acid psychosis of Disney cartoons and alcopop drunk animals. See it, reader? A watered red, a mild version as soft on the gaze as a human soul designed by Gucci. Is this okay to see? I'm looking at it. Trust. All I can make out is a small prison window through which I get a sunset's disemboweling glow, the gut-twisting prettiness of it, all the brimstone trance of a highlighter marker. Could it be a sort of disease, the equivalent of staring at the sun while writing baby talk? All flickering lights and self-promotion and free sugar samples. Reader, does that work? Barbie's ghost dressed in the shade of anemic gum lining. The innocence of child slaves pinning diamonds onto a princess doll. Maybe the colour is just a made-up story about agelessness, a holy grail, moisturisers made of liposuction fat and food dye. Thank you.
We'll always love the fact that Process has become the place where some people, this is their 20th time here, some people, this is their first time here, and some people, it's like, I liked it, I'll keep coming again, and we love that. So one more time for Seb, everyone! Drum roll, please. Our next open micer is going to be a first time at Process, if I'm reading Kayla's writing right. Please welcome Tom!
That's a good height. Okay, cool. Right. Just for my own sense of honor, I was chatting to someone the other day about whether or not someone is like a phone poet or a paper poet. I'm usually a paper poet. I'm sorry. Here's the dream. You take a word, any word, maybe somebody else's, maybe hers, maybe yours, possibly a bad one, who cares? And you can plant it like it will grow, like a seed, like an ampule, and it can blossom, and other shitty, trite words for that miracle plants do every day, and it will do that, and you could feel it in the dream. You could feel it doing the growing, inside your chest maybe, uncomfortable in your throat, quietly, choking loudly, choking monstrous and forceful, and you put your head back, the you in the dream, the young green leaves tickling the roof of your mouth, and it is so full of words, it is growing all these words you thought you'd lost, just spilling, losing, dropping, dripping verbs and bending, breaking adjectives, and there are so many, and they are all for you, growing like fruit you can pluck and pick and steal and take and eat with all those mouths you have, the one for talking and the one for eating and laughing and singing out of key and teaching and kissing and fucking and telling the truth and lying like you promised you won't make a habit of, like he did, and you're so worried what you have become, but there is a tree growing now and you can eat all the new raw green spitting words with all your mouths and give them to people, and maybe they'll be the right words, or maybe they'll just be just beautiful ones. God, how you miss the way they tasted like rock and roll and bitter like growing up, but it's better than what you have now, isn't it? All angles and vectors, and maybe she'll like the words, whoever she is now, whoever you write the words to now, and maybe that will fix things. Something's got to, right? It can't stay like this forever, treeless and sunshine, so this is the dream, and it is a good dream, and may it be true, and may it be true, and oh please God. I think I've got time for another one, right? That was quite fast. Because I showed this to a friend the other day and they were like, what's that? A lepidopterist is someone who studies butterflies. Do we know this? Okay, good. You are more well-read than my friends. Let us try to capture a memory. Like the lepidopterist, I can only hope is heartbroken. The only way he can capture the thing he loves is to kill it and pin it to a page to come back to later, to admire what was once the thing he loved but is no longer. You were beautiful like water. No, like air, like something more necessary. Loneliness like cobwebs, something practical, gone to dust. There was light in that room, but grey and hush, falling through that cobweb loneliness on the chair I bought to be alone in. Seeing friends on screens just a split second and 200 miles out of sync. And there you were, all hair and presence and sitting in my chair that was for loneliness, solid and beautiful. Inches, centimeters, miles, I have loved over all these distances. We drew battle lines over what world we had access to. One makes politics out of what one has. It's all any of us knows how. Your side, my chair, your chair. Geometries of falling carefully demarcated. Centimeters and feet. Like sailing, or as I imagine a long-distance voyage. So far from home you forget that the water connects back there, Whale Road that I know it to be. So far you forget you tried to bring home with you all these years. Somewhere there are train tracks, perhaps even trains, and canals. Somewhere are the other beautiful women, but none of them are you here in your beauty that is impossible not to see, all hair and dye and glass, all solid. Do not hear the wrong parts. Listen. Beautiful, present, centimeters, miles, mistakes, forgetfulness, running, all the parts in between. Listen. There. I love you. Pinned to a page.
Goodness, that was fucking great. Will you come back again, please? Yeah? Love it when... But also, I'm really sorry that I yelled, don't apologize that aggressively. But I have like a really, I like, something that frustrates, not you, but something that frustrates me a lot is that people feel pressure to memorize their poems, or that they're less of a poet if they read from a page or a phone or whatever. Sometimes I read from the book, sometimes I read from my phone, sometimes on very special occasions, I will read from memory. And if people think they're not doing something properly, think about what we're actually doing here. Do you want to compete or do you want to tell a story? That's not an attack on you, as in genuinely, it reminded me, that notion of like, I'm normally this or I'm normally that. We're here to tell stories. That's it. And those were two beautiful stories that you just told. So I cannot stress enough, you're a poet if you tell stories, that's it. Sorry if that didn't come out right. Anyway. Please, sorry. I get excited about this one just because I saw their first ever poetry performance of anything ever. So please welcome to the stage, Zach.
This is very new shit. I sort of wrote like half of it during the break, so. So last week, I broke my favorite excuse to not go out, the PS5, because again, So I had to dig out an ancient relic, a rickety machine called the PS4, and this is about that. Deep within the closet of relics, of old jackets and gadgets and old snack packets, you have been waiting. I had meant to sell you since I got your shiny upgrade, but I had forgotten that thought, much like I've forgotten most of these things in this wardrobe. Never mind that, let's see if you can still turn on. Fill a socket with a dusty plug, search frantically for some obscure specific cable, and push the button. There's a beep. Like the long dormant creature you are, you awaken with a deep, creaky groan. The fans begin slowly to whir, then stop, and then slowly begin to whir again, and the TV displays the familiar logo. I immediately go to the exact game I've been thinking of while searching for this rickety old machine. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of flavors of neurodivergent. I'm the one that will dedicate a third of their life to one specific topic, which could be something useful if that topic was something cool and sciencey that could be its own PhD. But I picked Warframe. I do not know a lot of things, but I could tell you more about each secret and niche than someone who worked on the damn thing for a whole decade. Now, time to boot it up. Never mind, 3-hour update. Wait for 3 hours, then boot it up. It's the same game that I play for more days than I'd like to disclose, but whether it's the downgraded graphics or the frame rate dropping every time I fire a gun or the deafening roar reverberating from the calling fans, I am transported back to a different time, a world where the only thing on my mind was coming home to fighting clone soldiers and space capitalists and playing as 40 different types of Space Ninja and not much else. They were much simpler times, but we often forget that simple doesn't always mean good. Our rose-tinted glasses won't show us what's in our heads, just what you see. But if all that's in front of me is samey memories of all-dayers and all-nighters of spaceships and metallic fighters, it makes me wonder is this what my childhood led up to be? I don't regret it, though. I can't relate to every nostalgia post from the 2000s, but if those hundreds of hours led up to where I am now, then I will proudly display my collection of weird space weapons. No one has all the answers how they should have spent their years, but I wish I could have known it would have led to the present me. So here's my letter to my younger self. Letter to a me that collected cool space guns. There is a lot that you don't know. That won't change, but you will learn that knowing nothing could be a lot more fun than knowing everything. You are going to find out that the world does, in fact, kind of suck sometimes, but it's a lot nicer than what you've been told. No, none of them secretly hate you, and you're stupid for thinking that. The lost 3 numbers for the 14th of December 2019 are as follows: 2, 21, 23, 32, 44, 49, 56. You don't need to be exactly like someone to understand them. People can be cool regardless. And finally, don't get your hopes up for Hollow Knight Silksong. It's still not out. Thank you.
There is a weird feeling when you're in your 30s and poets younger than you are doing poems to their younger self. There is a weird feeling with that, but I also love and respect it too. One more time for Zach, everyone!
Drum roll. Yes. Let's do another. This is why we need you, Hat Bitch. Oh, another first-time rep process. Please welcome Agatha.
Hello. This is a poem about the kind of love of my life, who I recently got sectioned for trying to visit because I tried to fly to Singapore to go and see him on my mum's credit card and I got arrested at the airport. Anyway, okay, this is a poem called Manchester United. Some death like some earth is red. In antithesis of death, as a child I played in the smoky reeds. When sky and sea meet, the dance of moss and tide flag. The sky is heavy like smoked meat or an ambulance, and red is the colour of stunting, not abundance. My deafening winter coat, a premonition of how we almost bred. The foghorn bellows where my body like a devil delighted. You're always disappointed by Manchester United. The players spill shrapnel sounds like seeds, my limbs in the reeds. Some men join football teams instead of the army so they don't get murdered. The fans in red shirts will shout like a stillbirth. My child will cut its feet on the earth and scream on the moss. Red, black and green by Pharaoh Sanders. The first 2 notes like children unfathered. From Holloway, the Emirates calls like something Cotard. Low like the reeds and high like the tide flag. You kind of said you wanted to be a dad. And this is one I kind of know off by heart, but the end bit I don't know, so I might have to skip bits of it. It's about my ex who had a piranha tank in his flat. So, okay. I've never seen a eucalyptus tree, but I know that they exist. You use sour eucalyptus oil on your lumber's hiss, and I should hear a hiss if there's a gas leak, and I slept in your bed to avoid my leaking radiator. You hurt your lower back lifting a tank of tired piranhas. I don't know my name, but I know that it exists, and I know that I'll know it when you ask what it is. Tree bark cracks in the aching wind. My old lover's back was detonated like religious cloth. Our feet... our feet touch through cloth you put on your pious black socks, and something in the bold monastic sink. I'd rather go back home to the hissing of my gas leak. Thank you.
Okay, two things quickly here. One, I am very much loving the meme at the moment where the whole phrase of about the whole women dating better men and it's like there needs to be better men in the world, etc. I feel that is very much true right now. Also, I'm so used to I've been to poetry for so often, I'm so used to the level of, I wrote this poem on the way here, I want anything like that kind of thing. Admittedly, in the 20 years of doing poetry, haven't heard, this is about when I was arrested. That's a new one. It's a new one. We love it. We love it. One more time for Agatha, everyone! Drum roll, please. And now next up to the mic, can we please welcome a first timer in the form of Dylan!
I kind of took the long way around there. Sorry about that. I've wrote poetry for a long time. I've never read it aloud, so it's my first time. I feel like I should give a little bit of a trigger warning because most of my poetry comes in like a form of like healing. I'm also recently 3 years sober, like Kayla. So yeah, this one you might be able to relate to it if you've ever been like at a house party and you're like way too high and you're in the bathroom and you're trying to calm down. That's kind of what this is about. This is called Talking Myself Down in the Bathroom. Connect me to systems to monitor my vitals, as it feels as if everything is collapsing. In some regards, I'd like to allow myself to drift off into this deep Atlantic abyss, and the clouds can continue to pour their acid onto unsuspecting populations of people who have no purpose or value. Please continue to tell them their psyches are clean, and sell them flowers to take home and rot and wilt in an overpriced Turkish vase. I'll watch from afar as if it was my doing and smile to myself, make some stupid fucking allegory to make it seem poetic or symbolic of my own emotions. You can watch from afar, shaking your head, say I told you so. It will not stop the rain from falling, it will not stop my heart from beating, although I wish it could. Some divine intervention of the power of will and manifestation. You'll read this and try to find some deeper meaning than what's truly said. Tell yourself you're scholarly and that you know literature. Keep pretending because no one fucking does. Please just allow yourself to give into the melancholy brought on by a lack of sun and decent food, because really you can't take care of yourself, no one can. Only the quiet rhythm of the waves and current that no one understands, even our blessed Jesus Christ, or the freakish Holy Ghost you all claim to fucking feel. We're here alone. Make peace with that however you will, and try to fucking smile. Be grateful, as you're weirding out our house guests, man. Okay. And then I have one more, also trigger warning, death, I guess. It's called Household Chemicals plus My Cold Dead Body. Mixtures of veterinary dewormer and pesticide, turpentine plus cyanide, gasoline, ethanol, acetone, tape head cleaner, and spray paint. Pores open up in sweat, blood rushing to its skull, its brain expanding, contracting. Spray the weeds to kill whatever pest continues to infect, like a parasite refusing to cease its assault. Empty its thoughts thoughts onto thin sheets of dead trees, tear its skin apart, peel it from its cold, dead body, separate it from its muscles. Reveal what's underneath, veins filled with chlorine and bleach, hydrogen peroxide, formaldehyde, an empty effigy of what once could have been human. Yeah. Thank you.
That first poem, something. Also, but that was your first time ever performing? Okay. No, see, that happens. So every now and then someone will say that on the Process stage and then they do something like that and I feel like I got hustled. Also, that first time sent me right back to like being really drunk and like not being able to hold my head up at the side of the road in Montreal in like a -10 blizzard. I got rescued by strangers. Strangers are really, really nice, and I did not die. Cheers to anyone else who's sober. It's fucking great. Genuinely, that sounded sarcastic. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm autistic. I don't understand sarcasm. That's not a joke. That's true. What's it? We haven't done enough of this tonight. What's in my hand? What's in the hat? Drum roll, please. Oh. Christ. Yes, please. That's your job, hat bitch. So our penultimate open micer of this evening. I know time flies when you're having a blast. You may know her from hosting Everything Poetry Night. Isn't it wonderful when you get... Anyway, sorry, that was such a great reaction. Please welcome to the stage, Ellie.
Oh my goodness. It's been such a good night. I am going to do 2 poems. One of them is much more lighthearted than the other. I was inspired by poems that we've heard this evening on dads. So I'm going to do a really raw poem, massive trigger warning for grief and bereavement. A couple of months ago, it was the 10-year anniversary of my dad's passing. And it hit me in a way that I didn't expect. It felt like, the only way I can really explain it is that it felt like time did this. So I felt exactly where I was when I was 15 and I lost my dad. I was brought right back to that moment. So I wrote this poem very much whilst I was in active grief. And I alternate within the poem, and the process of the poem is process. But the process of the poem is of equal value to the actual final result, because it was very cathartic for many reasons, obviously. And I alternate within the poem between memories from before my dad died and the memories that have happened since he died. Because, as I mentioned, like that collapsing of time is very real. And so I kind of collapse time in this poem. Okay. The potatoes are pillowing on the hob. Comfort food to rest my head on. I breathe into the certainty of mash. It doesn't matter how long I leave them on for, they will melt into a clump, easy to swallow. No need for teeth. I leave the potatoes be. Play out with the Sansom Street kids. Check my work email. Crack open the Sylvanian families. Check my personal email. Race the Sansom Street kids to each end of the road. Picture myself as Lucy Pevensey. Listen to Simon and Garfunkel cry really loudly. Learn how to make vegan carbonara. Watch the Barbie movie drunk. Cry really quietly. Watch the Barbie movie sober. Refuse to eat your cooking without even trying it first. Be tricked into eating prunes. Go to prom with Ryan. Count the number of weddings there have been. Walk to school together. Get my GCSEs. Watch someone die on a staircase. Get my A-levels. Be embarrassed at you cheering me on whilst I'm carol singing. Get my BA. Scroll on an iPod Touch. Get my masters. Cry really hard. Scroll on an iPod Touch while you sing a silly song with a guitar. Cry on my own. Scroll on an iPod Touch while you sing a silly song with a guitar at my bedroom door. Our tummies full of carbonara. Cry with my mum. Scroll on an iPod Touch while you sing a silly song with a guitar at my bedroom door. I think parodying Leonard Cohen. Our tummies full of carbonara. Me ignoring you. All hormones and 15. Feeling embarrassed about everything, including you. I wish I could still ignore you. Still feel embarrassed by you. I wish you were here to ignore, here to be embarrassing. I wish you were here. I wish you were here. I wish you were here to celebrate, here to hug, here to trick prunes on me, here to listen to you sing, here to share MASH with, here to listen to you sing and put my iPod away, laugh and dance and cry so hard, cry so much. I was going to do a more light-hearted poem, but I think I'm just going to let that one be. So thank you for having me.
So here's the thing, because Ellie didn't plug the thing I was expecting Ellie to plug. So, I mean, obviously, Poetry Night, Go to Everything, all of that, that's one side of this. The other side of this, Ellie, what's happening end of next month? Ellie's book is available to pre-order. If you like that poem, I think you did. Go pre-order Ellie's book, give the poet the money, etc. One more time for Ellie, everyone! So here's the thing. When I was messaging Kayla on WhatsApp about this, we were trying to figure out how many poets we regularly have at a process night, and it seems that on average, from when we started to now, most months we get on average about 16 to 17 open micers on this stage each time, which I think is a really good number. I give you that for the context of we've got 14 names still in the fucking hat. So, for our last open mic of the night, drum roll, please. To end the night, can we please welcome to the stage, John!
Hi, everyone. It's really cool to be able to kind of bookend this because, Raheem, you started the night off, and I think it's kind of a lot of what has come from that. It's really opened up, the whole dad theme's really opened up quite a bit. I'm going to go back to an old one for me, which I think a few of you, yeah, there we go. I feel like a few of you may well have heard before at some point. It's, like I say, it's cool to be able to do this because I was at a family thing over the weekend. My dad passed sort of about 5.5 years ago. Didn't have a bad relationship with the guy, but as you'll work out through the poem, there were just things that it can be really awkward when you're kind of at family things and you have to kind of opt for diplomacy in order to kind of, because sometimes other people's interpretations of a person and your direct experiences of them can be very, very different. So it makes being really honest in front of your own family quite a difficult thing, but then having a family like this one in which you can come and kind of talk about that is something that's really, really beautiful and special. So thank you to everyone, Tyrone, Kayla, and all of you that make that possible. So with that said, he commanded every room, the last of which a cubicle sellout. Tubes muffle in a once unmistakable tone. Recycled anecdotes making space for what fleeting presence remained. By now, the tides rising in his chest cavity confirmed what his final audience knew. It was a two-horse race between the outpouring of grief and the merciful end to his suffering. Hold his hand, Mum implored. I've never possessed the courage to ask if the contortions in my face gave it away. A tongue fastened by regret. Grip into hands, half fearful, half conflicted. His palm still sparkled muffled recollections of stories he would tell me as a boy. Nights laughing at the antics of those knitted scarecrows. But now, just unresolved narratives outstanding in my mind. Within that same hand, I'm 4 years of age again, reacquainting with the mysterious sense of Captain Morgan's and peanuts, scratching the bumpy itch under my eye. As his grip limps from mine, the red marks on my face on this day are unmistakable. Not due to allergies that I later learnt of, but as my dignity tried to wrestle its way from me as if in protest. On behalf of conversations I'd cautiously filed under, maybe it's not the right time. Confrontations unfought. What would I have said? I fast forward to his wake, where I was told I was morphing into him. I understand the pleasant intention, but now back teetering on a hospital chair, clutching tight to our final moments, and tighter to the urge to say that I'd become the man I was in spite and not because of him. I daren't look to my right. She sat patiently waiting to catch me. And it ate me alive knowing that despite growing up watching stories in black and white, he'd only accept mine in one colour. That's different. They're his mates. I can't believe that he's... What if my grandchildren are... His wrist hastened, tremors across my fingertips. His hand, the sudden ice-cold realization that this race was run. Thank you.
It's happened a few times at Process, and I will always love it when, almost by accident, by chance, there is a theme that runs through the night. And
What a theme to have.
Love it. Like, I've got a whole thing of like, I feel that like poets, each poet will only ever write about like 5 or 6 different things, and that's completely fine. You write about what you know, and if that's what you want to write about, do it. We've all got our dad poem shit. We all, again, clearly, and we love that. But yes, one more time for John, everyone!
We've never ended a night with this many names in the hat. So can we, at the end, you can't applaud each name, we'll be here all night. But a big applause at the end for the poets that we did not get to hear from tonight. Georgia, Rebecca, Adam, Andy, Charlie, Poet the Jules, for the first time ever of Ulians, Toby, Michael, Fiona, but next month, Atlas, and I'm so fucking sorry again, Georgie. Massive round of applause to those poets. On Monday is Everything Poetry Night, which we fondly refer to as like our sister poetry, our sibling poetry night. So go there. And it's basically the same, but it's Ellie, and you've just seen her, so like, yeah.
Also, obviously, if you can't go to that, there is a fun little Instagram
where
the
really
word things live. They tried as best they can do to tell you like all the poetry that's going on in London. There are so many. I mean, look us in the front row. I'm looking at like the Spit Nights crew who like started off a new night here because also there's new
They look
nights
so
coming
pleased
as
with
well.
themselves when you said that.
No, it's that whole thing of like there's so many nights going on, and also we've got new nights coming that
Yeah.
are doing incredible stuff as well. So
New shit.
new shit or new spit. There we go. Cool.
New spit.
Yes. Go to all the nights, go to all the things. There's so many things all in London, and also, of course, there's so many things out of London. For example, off the chest in Brighton is doing everything there. Do all of the things,
Bad
all
Betty
of the poetry. Bad Betty's based in Nottingham. They do stuff all across
And
the
they
UK
tour.
as well. Go to poetry nights, support the thing, do the thing. But yes, thank you all for coming to the thing.
Thank you to our wonderful features, Ifti and Amy. Thank you to all the open micers. Thank you to Della on the bar, who's been looking after us all night. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you to all
Thanks
of the...
thanks for doing this with me.
Thank you, Kayla, for doing this with me as well.
And thanks, audience.
Thanks, audience.
People who just came to watch.
And, of course, thank you, Hat Bitch.
Thank you, Hat Bitch. Where would it be without you? To clarify, I've been friends with Hat Bitch for like 8 years, so like it's not that weird. Basically,
weird. It's still weird.
No,
It's still weird.
Shut up. No, last time he was late, and as a punishment for being late, I made him get on his knees on stage and hold that for me. It was funny. I hope it's still cute. Anyway, come back next month. We're back next month, my birthday month. Where we have the wonderful Sumner and Fiona. What else? Anything else?
I mean, that's pretty much
Books.
it.
If you like the poetry, give them some money.
Buy merch, buy books. Follow
Ali's
us.
book is great. Tyrone's book is great. My book is great.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Buy all the
Follow
books.
the rabbit. Follow the rabbit. It doesn't matter.
Follow
There's
the
a rabbit on the cover of the book.
Buy all the
that's it.
books, buy all the merch. Look at all the stuff we're doing on social media. You're going to realise, because Tyrone does not sleep at all, there's going to be a hell of a lot more stuff coming out on social content soon. So keep an eye out for that stuff. As you saw, we've got a new
He sometimes goes on
logo.
side quests.
We're doing new branding and shit. I know.
You did not tell. You didn't run the yellow past me, by the way. It came out, and I was like, "We did not discuss colours." But okay.
I am crazy like that. But nevertheless, this is process. You've been here, and as my favourite Irishman always says, I love you all.
Now fuck off.
Good night, everyone.